Yo. uh, how's it been
I
going, Lee?
slid into that one.
A
That's our
simple yo
smoothest
will do.
entry ever.
I, like, of course, I forget what I get caught up doing right before the stream, and then I'm like, oh God, like I gotta like hook it all up, and I always forget. Well, not always, but what I have to watch out for is they have latency and everything on the YouTube when you stream, and I turn it down, but it makes you turn it down every stream. Like you can't just set it, that way. And so I always try to go in there so that I don't get caught with all that. Yo, Luke, thanks for making it.
My son,
Oh,
my beautiful son.
I think my iPad is full again. It's giving me a warning on this device. But we should get going. Okay, do these things have a shield like that, like an energy shield? Did I do good?
Yeah, well,
Or
some
am I
people
making
actually
something?
model that sort of thing like a glow or sort of like a static energy dancing across
Okay.
the vein sort of thing.
Okay, I can see
So
that.
yeah,
So almost like an energy charge going back and forth, kind of not so much okay.
yeah, because they can actually, well, in AT, you can actually shoot that apparently. This
Oh,
has
so
firing
probably
attack.
right there you can like probably fire from that thing. Okay.
Yeah. So like builds up a charge and then just like pew like that. That is
That's not a very
pew.
intimidating sound on the battlefield.
No, but you go ha, 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 laughing at the noise and then they stab you with the other thing.
What what is this is a what is this? Is a
Night Lancer.
night lancer.
Yes. It's a Cerastus class and it's the Night Lancer. Easily recognizable for it has a
By the
shield, that one to have a shield, and a lance for charging and impaling things.
Is it only, does it have any range at all, the lance?
No, he
Okay.
does have a shooting attack, but it's only like a very short range, like
Okay.
give you, which yeah is what he can do. But it's more survivable than other knights.
Okay.
He can still hurt, and the hive mind's turned up.
Oh. Oh yeah. Wait, how come it, oh, okay, it appears in here now. Thanks, Sidemind. What do I got in
Yeah,
here? I
Night Lancer,
have
my favorite.
that one. I was gonna do a couple. There's so many more I wanted to do. This one because I liked when they do the shadow. When the shadow is extra on the miniature, it's like, all right, let me like I try to match it. Like I try to learn something and I try to it's like usually it's if I can get it done quick. Like if I can get it done quick and I think it'll look good, like then that's all that matters in my mind. That's basically what I pick on. I'm like, okay, wait, can I get it done quick? And then do I think I can get it done, looking good? And then I try to squeeze in learning something into that.
I see that you've included some sparkles just at the top there with
Oh
the.
yeah, I always, dude, it's a thing, I
Oh,
guess,
look at
man.
this! Look
Wait,
at that!
but it's 40K to me. It's like everything should be dust, and I don't know why. To me, like uh, one of these crows, it was a different paint over I did, and I did it in black and white. I gotta do a day where I do black and white paint overs again because I love that. And
I like the
I
bat.
don't. What was that?
The bat.
Oh
The
yeah,
other
the
side.
bat too. I know. He's got it walking on this. So,
I am the knight.
dun, dun, dun. And then
Chiba
this
man.
bad boy. I'm trying to get, I even put like a little blue light on this guy's eyes.
Oh, the light goes out.
Yeah, was a little touch of blue. I was like, oh man, that thing is cool. Dude, awesome colored scheme on this because that's how I envisioned. So yeah, you might have to end up painting my stuff, man. I'll be begging. This is like this is how I imagined the AE paint scheme, because it's black and white. And I saw a thing, I was like, no way, that's like perfect. You know what I mean? That was looking so cool. Good photo on this as well.
it is it is more bone though. You might have to
Yeah,
change the
but
brand a bit.
No, and that's fine. What is the yeah? But that's the grim dark future. What kind of his face? What is that color wise? What did you
Um,
use?
well, it's Corvus Black, so it's like a
Okay.
very grey black, um, which is pretty much my go-to black. Full stop. Really, it's I
Yeah.
don't like too much shininess, and it's got a little bit more realism to it.
That's yeah, and so I noticed that right too. Yes, because if it gets too shiny, it doesn't match the rest. And to me, what that black really matches like the rest of that bonish, grimy. Oh man, this thing is so cool.
I love the eyes. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's like what kind of what are I mean? Obviously, like a Gatling
they're
type gun.
bolters.
What are these? They are bolters.
Yeah, it's basically on where you've painted sort of warhounds. You have the Vulcan Mega Bolter. That's basically a Vulcan Mega Bolter that's been split in two.
Okay.
So you've got one half that
Okay.
side, one half that side, and
All
you've got
right.
the
And
little
then
nose lights as well.
yeah. Okay. So those are lights. I was double checking because I
Yeah,
was gonna put some light. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. And then for my reference later, what is the
well,
big
that's
cannon? What
a
kind of?
neutron. So I'd say like a bluey electrical static
Yeah.
hit. Like in those
Okay.
like rivets along the barrel there, you could have a bit of a bluey glow and
Ah,
maybe
gotcha. In that dark
dark
area, make
shot.
it glow a little. Okay. Okay. Yeah, because I was wondering. I'm like, all right, man, I got, I got you. That's the one good thing. Like, I got him on the stream. I could ask whatever I need to ask.
But I actually used
Yeah.
one of them last Saturday when I went to Warhammer World, and that gun is it's I think it's a nicely balanced weapon because it doesn't have a high strength to
Okay.
it, but it can bypass Titan shields,
That's
which
what
is
you said,
always
and
handy.
shut it down for a turn. I think you told me last time.
Well, it shuts it down for a round.
Yeah, I remembered something.
So if you got like first fire orders on that thing in the in the movement phase, because basically you do your orders and the action in the movement phase. So you don't move for first
Okay.
fire, but you fire one weapon. So you fire that at an enemy Titan, it bypasses their shields, and dependent on when you hit, because it's only strength 7. So if
Yep.
you hit on a Titan's body, for example, like a Reaver or Warhound, then the body rating's about 10. So
Mm-hmm.
on a 3 plus, you'll be uh, getting a hit, basically.
Okay.
So a direct hit. Anything more, you might get a devastating hit. You won't, unlikely you're going to get a critical hit because it's just too
Yeah.
high damage roll. But as long as you do a minimum of 1 hit, you
Okay.
can have a an additional roll on a 3 plus. If you get it, the Titan
Uh,
shuts down for that phase.
Okay, so you
So,
need to basically, in the scenario you put out, you need to roll a 3 plus and then another 3 plus to get it to shut down.
well, it depends on what part of the body you hit. Because
Yeah,
if you
but
hit the head, it's going to be probably like a 5 plus because heads are
okay.
more armor.
Yep.
So the body is the most weakest part on a Titan
Okay.
compared to the legs and the head, basically. Um, although you could hit a weapon, and as long as you hit the damage roll on that, it still will shut it down on a 3 plus.
Okay.
However, if you don't score a hit and it's only a superficial hit, on a 6 plus, it will still shut down because you're basically hitting them with like an imp weapon.
Okay. Yep.
Um, so there'll be like residual like static, and it's harder, but you can still do it,
You
sort of
can
thing.
still
So,
do it. Yeah, just because it's like yeah, electrical charge through the whole thing type of deal.
hmm. But then it's already looking pretty damn good.
Trying to
It
do
builds up the power.
the power.
I actually deactivated a Warbringer Titan with
Really?
that.
Oh yeah. So wait,
Um,
who did I see? Was it Gondor? I forgot. Who did do you
yeah,
play the game
Gondors,
with someone? It's so
yeah,
funny. It's like it's
Gondors,
this
yeah.
weird thing. It's this weird thing where you're like watching other people play a game online, and then you know what they did that week, and it's just like, yeah, you got a game with Gondor.
Gondors is I actually said beforehand. I said are the beacons lit? Because obviously being Gondas, he needs to call for aid because he was playing me. And yeah, he put a valiant attempt, but he died.
Dun
I
dun
killed
dun.
him all.
What why do I want to say faction? What did he play?
He played his murder lords, the Legio Interfector, who are they're not bad little Legio. They have this. They're basically all their titans are mad.
Okay.
Because they didn't want to be traitors, and
Yep.
they got paid to be traitors, and it drove them mad and nuts.
Yeah, yeah.
They have like a very characterful, like rule set traits that allow them to enhance and embrace the madness and do extra things because they're cray
Interesting.
cray. But yeah, he had, as you probably saw in my post, his only Warhound Titan stood up to three of my Titans.
Oh, it was his that did that? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Then I
He, but
misunderstood it. Yeah, I seen that post and I was like, I thought it was yours that did that. Interesting.
no, he's won. Like he's one Titan against three, and he basically well, two Titans. All their attacks were ineffectual against. They only basically. Let's have a look because he on the first one that I fired with his Vulcan Mega Bolter, I scored 8 hits with it, and he done 8 unaugmented saving throws. So he's like, "Yep, no effect." I went, "What? Not even one shield." And then from subsequent attacks, though, there was a lot of attacks that went through from the first 2 Titans. So he must have rebuffed. Yeah, because I think it was 5 from the second one, then 4, 4, so 8, so it's
He's
13. So about
recounting the battle.
20 out of 21 attacks, he repelled 19.
Wow.
And my last Titan was and then shoot it in the face. With marginal damage, he only took like a little bit of damage from it. But it lasted for a couple of rounds, so it did sort of hamper me because I was expecting to like wipe the floor with it.
Yeah. For sure. One Warhound. Yeah.
Yeah, but he did well, so I put it down as it was MVP for the sheer fact
Yeah.
that it took 4 Titans to take it out eventually. Because my
Yeah.
side
Just a
Titan had.
Warhound. That's saying a lot. Yeah.
So yeah, it was a good game. And unfortunately, poor Gondas has got COVID.
No. Wait, you just played? You don't have it? Did you check? You don't even know?
No, no,
Whatever.
well,
Roll with it.
he announced it today on the Discord that he tested positive. So
Gotcha.
tested myself straight away. Because I'm feeling fine, but I tested myself as precaution anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, lazy.
Good deal.
So yeah, even though I spent half the time licking him. Hey, psychologist in Astartes has arrived. Good
Oh,
evening.
glad you could make it. Da-da-da.
I'd say like with this one in particular, I like it. It does remind me of sort of like Monkey Island.
It's
Um,
something. Yeah, there's some weird, like, it just had this weird flavor that I was digging. I'm like, okay, I don't know. I'm like, I just gotta, it had I'm a sucker for anything when you're stacking candles on the shoulders and birds on the miniature. Like, there's these simple things I can't get away from. I'm like, okay, yeah, if you put candles on their shoulders, you got me. Like that, and then like a bird on it. And it was just like the lighting, and it was just, I don't know, just like this weird little walking whatever. So I was like, ah.
yeah, he kind of like to me, he does feel like he's just walking down like a pier. He's just come off of something.
That's okay. That's what I almost get, and I'm like, he doesn't necessarily have to do with water, but I'm like, it's probably because I colored it that way, and that's what it does feel like. It's almost like a foggy night or something where he's like walking through, and because I don't even know what kind of character he is.
No, not a clue. He's Batman.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's got all these, he's got you know what I mean, the bat, the rat, the crow. I'm like,
Doctor Doolittle talks
yeah,
to all the animals. He has lots of friends. So Goathead is pointing out that
Oh wait,
he
is
was
this
really fun
goat?
to
Wait, I think this is goat heads. It should. I mean, I'm better than I thought with all the names between here and Twitter and everywhere else.
You have gotten better. Yeah.
I just have
The
because I
amount of
interact
times
with
that
everyone, and I'm like, I can tell by their style. I'm like, oh yeah, it's that person. But I'm like, that names,
the amount
and
of
then
times that you'd go into like Twitter and go, "Who did this one again? I can't remember."
Overton, they have like Overton. I'd interact like he interacts with me so much, right? And he'd be like always, and I mean, even like Tiny, I had like no followers, and he'd be interacting, and then I'd interact with him for like half a year, and then be like, oh gosh, who is that? It feels so bad because you're like following, it's like on stream, you've talked to him, a few times, all this stuff, and you're like, wait, who was that again? God, that's horrible.
His Goathead saying he's a necromancer who uses his critter friends as spies. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. I like the use of animals and giving them jobs. Animals with jobs as occupations is the way to go. I
Yeah, that's why I always ended up. I was always like the classes in games where you could have a pet.
find.
I did that a lot when I'd like choose. Did you ever play EverQuest?
No,
Okay,
no.
I I only played it
D&D
for
was the fantasy one, I
yeah.
think.
EverQuest was just a video game, and I always remember that when I ended up playing, and I didn't play that long because it was one of those MMORPGs where it's like a life sucking one. But a
Yeah,
friend of mine had played, and then I just remember we built some characters, and it was really cool because we were low level, we started the low level characters, but I could summon, I was like kind of like it was like a hybrid. So I was more like a ranger. You're basically like a ranger, but you could semi tank a little bit, but you also had a pet, and the pet was super tough. So you could pull something really strong, and then I would fight it with the pet first, and when the pet would wear off, I would run in, recharge my pet while I would fight and be wearing down, and then he had a caster that could summon other creatures. And because of how the game was, you could go into areas where, if you're in the wrong area and it's a higher level, they'll just like one hit kill you. But so we would do this thing where, all right, we would go in this area, and we'd stand in the one at the end of the long hallway, and he would cast this eyeball spell, and you could go all the way down these hallways, and if you got close to a creature with the eyeball, it would trigger on the eyeball and then come back. So we would plan all this to lure the right ones that we could kill, and bring it all the way back, and then we would start the whole cycle. So we would get a ton of XP because we were like in a dungeon that was way harder than us, but you figured out how to harvest it. And I don't know why that even made me think of it, but I always loved that as a, just in a game where you're able to play in an area that's kind of above your rank, but it makes it extra cool.
mm. Well, you want it to be challenging, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, and it was just something different that you could do, and it's free. I was like, oh, okay, you kind of try to get in there, and it was just how it all worked out was awesome. It was fun for that, and we only played like a little while with those, but that was one of those games that kind of stuck with me as cool concept. I mean, EverQuest, I don't even know how long ago that was now. I don't think 20
But
years, but 15 at
yeah,
least.
well, that's the thing. It's like the only sort of MMO I ever really played was Eve Online.
Oh, you did?
Um,
I see that one would, I don't know. That's a crazy
well,
one, and I
I,
love the
I,
concept.
it was a free 2 week sort of.
Yeah.
So I played it for 2 weeks whilst I was at work. Because back in those days, when I was at work, it was quiet a lot of the time, so I could actually, you know, fly
Get
around
some
in
good
space,
gaming in.
do some gaming in while at work. Um, so I used to do that sort of thing. And I don't know. My objective was to basically just get a nice looking ship,
Yeah,
which took
yeah.
2 weeks to do. To get a nice looking ship called it was a frigate called Tristan
Hmm.
um, class. Um, and then that was it. Once it was over, I just thought, no, I haven't got the time, and I don't want to be paying for
Yeah, yeah.
for a game. So I left it from there, really. But that was the
I'm
only MMO I ever played.
I'm waiting for the old folks home. and that's what I'm gonna like. Because when you have time, I'm like, okay, dude, get me online. Let's do this, dude. So those kids will be like, I don't know how this person sits on all day, every day with his group, and they just harvest everything, and they can all get mad at me and be like, oh, how do you do this? And they won't know. I'm in an old folks' home.
Yeah, I'm an old folks' home, and I'm basically just got nothing in the middle
Yeah. Yep.
apart from milk these cows and build up the milk XP.
Yeah.
Other work is second to none. Uh, no one can make cheese like you.
Wait, did you watch The Boys at all?
Yeah, I'm up to date on the boys.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that was a that was a bit of a start with the little dude.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh my God. I know. That's dude, over the top, man. They're so over the top with everything now. It
and
just
that's why
has
you
crazy.
shouldn't snort cocaine whilst enjoying.
Yeah, dude. I was like, wow, okay, they really went for it there.
Mm. Yeah, so I caught up with the last episode, the latest episode last night. So it was episode 6, I think.
Hmm.
So it's weird, isn't it? So I
Yeah,
don't know
they,
when it comes out because I've just been.
yeah, I'm all up to date. I do like this, just because if there were superheroes, there would be all the psychopaths anyway. So it's just like you know what I mean? That little bit of a take where I'm like, okay. And I knew of it, but I never read that comic. So it was interesting for me to see it when it came out.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like I think it's only been like maybe recent years, and I think because they addressed it in things like um, Infinity War
Yeah.
and stuff, where like for the Battle of New York, when the alien race was coming through and Tony was going for it with his suits and stuff.
Hmm.
Afterwards, they're addressing the fact that the amount of damage that had been done to the city and all
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, he saved our lives, and if it weren't for him, and then nothing. Yeah, I saw him smashing up some building and all that sort of stuff. So it was like, well, you never normally see the consequences of
No.
these battles, and again, even like watching Batman versus Superman and stuff like that, there wasn't any real
No.
consequences in that afterwards. They didn't
I
say, "Oh yeah,
always I always wanted a series or a story that is basically insurance adjusters and stuff after everything goes through. So it's them going to the scene and it's after these superhero fights. You know what I mean? And like they gotta assess
yeah,
all the stuff and charge for all the damages and all that. And one of the um what was I gonna say? Damn, it sucks to have a failing brain. Oh well, it would have been funny. Just know
no."
that it would
Because
have been
funny
really
enough,
funny.
that there is something similar like that in the last Tom Holland Spider-Man, where he was dealing with the Vulture, where they're
Okay.
reclaiming the alien tech.
Oh, the Vulture was in the new one. I gotta see that
Yeah, so
one.
they were like, operating, doing the cleanup sort of thing, and they were basically going
Oh
in
yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah, 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 yeah. You're
and,
right.
basically acquiring the alien tech and doing stuff with it. Uh, Obviously, suit for himself.
Yeah, that's right.
I exactly lost the justice, but he was dealing with the fallout and cleanup
I
and
remember.
stuff.
Oh, that was
And
the
all the,
thing. Like it was a suit. I watched it was a cartoon movie, mind you. So whatever. But some of them were really good from DC, and some was Superman, right? And it was a pretty good one. But I'm laughing because it was all like Lois Lane was, I don't know if she was in danger or what the whole thing is, right? So, but it was basically, just Lois Lane in danger. And then it goes into this citywide brawl, right? Between him and he's trying to save Lois Lane, who's the only like person who was in danger or whatever. It goes to a citywide brawl, and he's throwing the dudes through buildings. You know what I mean? Like office buildings and stuff. So I'm like, it's like the S is for selfish, man. I'm like, do you know how many people you just killed whipping that dude through that building, like into the street and all this? So it's like Lois Lane is like in danger. So like, let's destroy the whole city and wipe out like hundreds of people, if not more, like with your brawl. And I'm like, and it was just funny when I was like watching it, and you see like, yeah, you're thinking of all the actual damage that would be done through this process, and he's just trying to save one person. So then he wipes out the whole city. He's like, yeah, I did it.
Yeah, overkill. That's what we like.
Yeah, I did it.
So, psychologist in your start is saying that that sounds like a spiritual sequel to the Viscera cleanup detail.
Oh
You
wait,
know,
there was a comic. It was called. Wait, what was the group? It was like Damage Control or something. I don't know if DC or Marvel put out some obscure one. They might have been something like that. Damage Inc. I can't remember. I'll have to look it up.
get on the research.
Research it up. What do you in your stream after this? What are you working on?
It won't be Titans tonight because I haven't got anything ready. So it's going to be a build along session. So probably a Contemptor for for some mysterious unknown legion that I'm working on.
Dun dun
And
dun.
I've got another. I've got a Praetor model I've got to build as well. So yeah, it's just going to be a little build along session. I might show off some of my other stuff that I'd painted last.
Oh. Okay. Psychology. Thank you, Star. It says it was Damage Control, and they're the ones who are running the collection of tech and Spider-Man too. Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah. Hmm. Dun, dun, dun.
There's one thing that's on the groin wall banner. I think you've overdid a bit on the left hand side because it's missing the
Oh, this part. Yeah.
unless that's sort of twisted round or something. I don't know.
No, I probably wiped it. Oh, you're right. I did wipe it out when I was erasing the edge. Look at me.
So
Dun, dun,
it's nice
dun.
and OCD combining.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Oh, wait, here we go. The joys of working digital. Let me just put that back.
As good as new.
Good as new, right as
They'll
rain.
buff out. Don't worry.
Oh, that's because I did it underneath there. See, you always got to remember, you screw up when you work under the tinted layer. There.
Look at that. Oh,
Now we put that back a little bit closer.
it's like it was never.
Genius. Genius. No one will ever know.
No, what? I don't know what you're talking about.
How long the game you played with Gondor, how long did the game last, roughly?
Um, that's the thing because we started late because I got there late, and we obviously arrived. I had breakfast, and then we got stuff organised. So we probably didn't start until must have been about 11:30.
Okay.
Because like it was meeting and greeting people and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Because I'm
Um,
popular. A lot of people want to talk to me.
that was happening all throughout the day, to be honest with you. You know, there had loads of people coming over, like looking at the Titans because I took, I had 3 Legios with me, and I was actually adding up. There was like 40 odd Titans I had with me.
Oh,
Um,
God, seriously? That many?
yeah, yeah. Only used 5.
How do you transport yours?
They're called really useful boxes.
Okay, do you have like
That's the
is it
actual
literally?
brand. Really useful boxes.
Oh,
So
seriously, it is? Okay,
yeah.
that's because I was like that many. It's got to be like that's like
So
yeah.
I had 2 18-litre boxes, and then I had 1 9-litre box, which had 11 Warhound type Titans in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did get a few, and I had like all my War Masters and Iconoclasts with me. So I did get them out. Although I took very few photographs because I was either too busy focusing
Yeah,
on
you're
the
trying to get the game in. Yeah.
and then people talking and chatting and all that sort of stuff. Not that I'm blaming them. It was nice to actually like
Oh
meet all
no, you
these
go there.
people and
Yeah,
stuff.
you don't. It takes your mind off. You're like, oh yeah, you're just having fun and gaming. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like having a chat. I've done a demo game as well for another guy who was there. Um, so he got to play a bit of a game to see how it played,
At this
which
point,
he
I would get infatuated with looking at everyone's minis. Like if I was by you guys, I'd be, you guys play. I want to check out your minis. Like as you play it, I mean, because Gondor paint's awesome too.
yeah, and that's why I wanted to get the picture of the three surrounding him. That was
Yeah.
staged after the game. That was basically a
Okay.
reenact of what happened because I literally I took one photograph before we started fighting, and
Yeah.
then that
Yeah.
was it. Because you're doing stuff, and you're having
Hmm.
it was just fun. There was no pressure
Yeah.
or anything. But yeah, it was a good day out. We had some mass exchanges of weapon fire, um, and yeah, done demo game and had lots and lots of chats with people, which was cool.
Yeah. It was Warhammer World, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
I even helped out on a technical issue with uh, Baz, who is like the gaming hall manager. He actually came up to me and said, "You're the guy to ask about this because you're Mr. Time." He goes and he was asking like, "Does like the Warlord Titan, does that have any 360 firing weapons?" I went, no, it's only the Reaver that has 360
Yeah.
weapons. And he said, "All right, yeah, it's just that I've got some French customers who have come in and they're looking at the Titans and they're after sort of 360 weaponry for Warlords." I said, "Well, they don't do them. It's only the Reaver." So I, went,
Yeah.
oh, I knew you was the man to ask.
Set it straight. Perspective blur. A little blur in there. Happy little blur. Oh, oh, oh.
Always good bit of blur.
A little blur.
So I'm assuming with the pennant and the tilt shield is obviously this knight is representative of the Ukrainian conflict. Um,
Oh, you know what? I don't know. Maybe, but this one was a ways back, I think.
all right.
Because they had submitted it before and they remembered it and they were like, hey, I'm submitting it again. I was like, oh, yeah. Because I told, I like the angle and I was like, I don't. There was a little thing with composition where my mind was tripped out. And so I didn't know how I was going to handle it.
Yeah, when I was going through the submissions yesterday, I saw that one. I thought, that's got his name all over
Yeah,
it.
there's a few, man, there's a couple. I forget who it was. They submitted there, and they're just such beautiful models. And it was like, man, it's just impressive. It's funny. Like, I do like the fact that I can tell people submitting, like, I've had people now who followed and, watched everything. I can see the dramatic shift in the angle. So I get a lot more, like, of the good up shots. I'm like, yeah, dude. I'm like, that
And
helps.
that's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. Nothing like a good upshot.
Yeah, the upshot of that is you get great art.
You know,
Hmm.
knowing is half the battle. Did you watch was there GI Joe cartoons by you as a kid? Or was
Um, yeah, I'm kind of missed them to be honest. I used to like read the comics, the GI
okay?
Joe comics,
Yeah,
uh, but that was at the early days ish over here,
yeah,
um, because we used to have what they call Action Force, which
yep.
was
I actually remember the name, but I don't know much about it because I didn't watch
yeah,
it as a kid.
Action Force. You had you had the bad guys led by someone like the Red Skull or
Yep,
something, um, and um, they had like they had four task force. You had like SAS force. You had Z force. You had space force, and there was like water force or aqua force or something like that.
Okay.
So basically, one was all water based, one was all space based.
Yeah.
Then you had the SAS, which basically like
Yeah.
balaclava commando type things, and then Z Force were like normal sort of infantry slash paras slash well not even paras. It was well paras in as much they had red berets. Um, they wore like green camo things. Like they had a tank, um, and they were
Sometimes
sort of
that's all
an
you
off,
need.
yeah, and they were sort of an offshore shoot of Action Man, but miniaturized. And then that got
Okay.
converted into GI Joe. So then you had like Duke and
Yeah.
Flint. I think was it Flint first and then
Yeah.
Duke?
What
Or,
I don't remember on that. I think it was Flint first, then Duke.
yeah,
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think Duke was. Gosh, that's crazy.
Baroness, Coral,
Yeah.
Destro, Cobra Commander,
Cobra
Baroness.
Command. His voice was like Cobra Command or whatever. I forget even how it was done. I gotta watch one of those cartoons again. It's been so long since I watched the GI Joe. I gotta get back to watching Galaxy Rangers again. I'll pop. I got it. I'm like I don't know, episode 12 or something. I'm like I gotta pop that on again. I forgot about it till just now. We were talking about cartoons.
Yeah, or psychologist remembers Action Force. So they were cool. They were
Proof.
cool.
All I know is I always think of. I never saw them till I think it was Luton who posted one, and it cracked me up, dude. It was like I guess I shouldn't crack. I mean, whatever. I'm probably a bad person. It was the as a kid. It was I don't know what years it was. Maybe it was the late '70s or '80s over there. Probably '80s. They they had like the electrical warnings and the people were literally getting fried on the lines. They would show the commercials and the person's like the kid like touches the electrical line and is like they
Yeah,
find like
yeah.
smoking shoes after.
He's going after his
Yeah,
frisbee.
there
He
was
throws his frisbee and it lands between the
yeah, dude.
transformers
Yeah, then they
pylons.
go and grab it, and then there was this other one where like it was a girl and a boy, and then the boy gets fried, and the girl's like, oh, there's like smoke coming off the body or whatever. I was just
Yeah, it was implied death, not you
yeah,
didn't actually
dude.
see it. It was just like
No, yeah, but like there was you
his
saw the
hand
smoke
about
after
to
that.
touch it. He's like you hear a scream or something.
Yeah, dude. It was like I'm like, yeah, I guess they whatever they were probably worked to some
That's the
degree.
thing. If you want to scare kids, you scare them.
Yeah,
They're more
like you
likely
got
to do what you want them to do or not do. But
uh
yeah, don't play frisbees near electrical pylons.
yeah, man. After seeing those commercials, they'd be like, yeah, maybe I don't want to get burned into a crisp.
But again, it was something else which has been mentioned before about growing up in the sort of 70s/80s, is that
Yeah.
compared to things today, like the worries that we had back then was our major worries was nuclear proliferation
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and quicksand. Um, Quicksand was a big fear for kids back because there was all these programs where you see these old
Every
like
shit, yeah, every video game, everything there was quicksand, dude.
quicksand. What the hell? Quicksand? What does it do? You sink in it? Sand? But I go to the beach and I'm fine. But there's secret sand that makes you sink.
And it's serious.
Um,
But yeah, it makes you think, dude. Not, I can't imagine how many. Like, it's got to be a rare death to die of quicksand. Like that statistic cannot be too high. Like, how many quicksand deaths are there a year? And don't you feel like absolutely
you
the
don't know. You
worst
can't find the bodies.
if you die a quicksand death? Aren't you like, oh damn? Like you really got to feel bad on that one. Like you were warned in every movie. You knew it could happen. And then you're like, dude, I'm seriously stuck in fucking quicksand.
Yeah. Well, at least you got a chance to nowadays if you've got a mobile phone, it's like
Yeah.
I was telling you, I'm in quicksand. I'm going to
Hurry, I
die.
probably got
I'm
three
getting
or
out
four
of this.
hours.
Remember me?
Famous last words.
Yeah. Just selfie yourself as you die.
Yeah.
So you can
Post
get away
it. Post it on the internet.
with it. Quicksand.
Quicksand. Guys, I might not make it. If you don't hear back from me, the quicksand got me.
Mm. Well, I used to go to on holiday to a place called Grange on the Sands, which is up
Ooh,
on
sounds
the.
swanky, dude. Where were you? What was
Well,
going on there?
it's not a bad little place. It's up in sort of the Lake District, which is a beautiful part of the country, up on the western coast. So it's above Blackpool, Liverpool, and so on and so forth. You can actually see Blackpool Tower from Grange on the Sands, but there's this bay like, that comes into more between Grange on the Sands, and it's facing a place called Morecambe, and you
Uh-oh.
can walk across when the tide's out. It's about
Yeah.
a 5 mile walk, but you can actually walk across the seabed
Okay, yeah.
over to Morecambe, but you've got to do it in a certain amount of time before.
There's a place spot like this off the East Coast that does sort of the same thing. You get that little land bridge forms and it's sand, and you can literally cross it, but it's only for that like little amount of time.
But, and there's a big but, there's two things there which are incredibly dangerous. First is, as I was saying, you've got to do it at a certain time before the tide comes in because the tide has got a name. It's called the Boar, and it comes from both sides. So if you miss time your walk, you're getting hit
Yeah.
both sides, not one, both, by a quick onrushing tide. And to double up on that jeopardy, the Bay of Morecambe is filled with quicksand. So you can actually see quicksand. It's like like a watermark on a carpet. You see that
Yeah.
little.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
see little circular bits on the sand itself.
Oh,
So
interesting. Okay.
to avoid them, um, but also that the headlights there was because my nose was just starting to run a little bit.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, so you've got time is not your friend, the tide is not your friend, and the sand that you're walking on might not be your friend. But people do this thing; they'll walk across to Morecambe as part of a guided tour.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but when I was staying up there, I always remember it was like a great aunt that we was staying at her house there because she lived on her own and she's like a big, big sort of 4 bedroom sort of Victorian house
Yeah, yeah.
overlooking the bay, and that she was saying about only a couple of weeks prior to our arrival, there was some young scallywags riding on the sands on their motorbikes, and
Uh-oh.
one of them hit the quicksand, and basically
Oh,
his bike was going under, and he was more desperate to save his
shit, the
bike.
bike. Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause he was on it, and they're saying like, "Give your hand, no, no, get my bike, and all that." And they're going, "No, just get you because we ain't gonna be able to save the
Yeah.
bike. The bike is gone." Um, but yeah, it was like, "Oh, be careful with quicksand." This
Yeah.
happens on a regular
Didn't you watch the movies?
basis. Yeah, have you not seen what happens?
Have
He
you?
like
Dude,
leaps.
It's Indiana Jones for crying out loud. It's not like it's something not popular.
Mm.
Everybody
Did he
knows it could
quicksand in
happen.
there?
Yeah, yeah. Remember he was deathly afraid of it?
That
Or
was
no?
snakes.
Oh yeah, no, but yeah, yeah, yeah. But he got tossed the snake when he was in quicksand in like the third one. He in the first one wasn't he in quicksand itself, and then they redid it with him and Shia LaBeouf, I think, and they gave him like they tossed him a. It was so silly though. They tossed him a snake to get him out of it.
Oh right. The Crystal Skull. I only saw them once, and I don't
I
really remember
know,
well. I
but
think
I
it's like
would have swore he was in. What did I remember the other Indiana Jones? Why do I remember quicksand in the other Indiana Jones? It must be in the earlier ones.
it was in the desert.
Am I imagining? Yeah. So yeah.
There was the sand that was coming through the walls, and snakes were coming out of
Yeah,
the
that
hole.
wasn't quicksand, but okay, so maybe it just was the last
Oh,
film,
Luke saying
huh?
it's the last film.
Wow, I thought it would have been in the first two too, but apparently I make stuff up.
Oh, don't feel so harsh.
Apparently, I have to make stuff up.
You just see these lights like flashing.
Try to figure out the good way to have it actually look like light.
Or just
Usually
have
it
like
takes a couple, it takes like a couple filtered versions, and then I'm like, oh, okay, that's how I can do it.
I don't know. I don't know. I think just about having the light sort of just illuminated,
Yeah. Well,
we
I
could
usually,
make it
because
a
I put it bigger and
make
then I like
it
retract it all, you know. I always end up put it all in and then erase down, edit down.
we've done all this and then we just delete, delete,
That's
delete.
no, dude, how many times I spend so that's the vast majority of my time is spent just doing something and then erasing it. Like, yeah, I don't like it.
Indicators left. Beep, 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 beep.
Beep,
Warhound, the
beep,
direwolf turning.
beep, beep, beep.
Beep, 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 beep.
Is it? Oh my God! It's like we're gonna set a record day for heat here today.
Yeah, same here. It's like
Really? Are you see across the world? Oh my
Wednesday.
God! Yeah, I couldn't believe it's gonna be. It's not gonna be 100, but it'll just be right below 100 degrees. Like I think it's like 96 or something. It's supposed to get to today.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the current temperature is. I'm just going to accessing
I
computer.
haven't. I have it. Oh, I should turn. I don't want to turn on the AC unit just yet.
Yeah,
Makes noise.
so he's doubled it. So it's about 72 here at the moment.
Okay.
So it's 21 degrees Fahrenheit. Or is it centigrade? It's higher. I can never remember which one's higher. 2 degrees, which is get the actual other one is doubled then at 72. Um, that's almost 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it's gonna be a.
Although it's a clear night tonight, hopefully. Oh yes, it is a clear night. So I might try
Where were
some.
you? Might try some what night pictures.
Yeah, I haven't done any for a while.
I saw you. You were on a walk or something. Is that kind of like a park or something by you with the nature pics you posted last time?
Yeah, the ones I done yesterday. I collect my lad from college, and then we have to go up uh, to Southend because his college is near to where I live.
Okay.
Um, like he lives in Southend, which is about 7 miles away.
Okay.
So we had to go up. I was to pick him up about 20 past 2, but his sister doesn't come out of her school until 3:30.
Oh, so you got that little bit. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so we always go up there. I stop off, get some petrol, which is costing the earth at the moment.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, dude.
got us some drinks because it was a bit hot and some snacks, and then parked up. And then we went for our little walk around the park. And all those pictures I posted on Twitter yesterday, I did post a few more. I did take a few more, but you can only do 4, obviously.
Hmm.
Uh, but none of them were using any Photoshop or anything. They were just
Yeah,
as
yeah. That's
it
awesome.
was
Yeah.
thing. And it's just like, I always love taking pictures of the sun, and just seeing like
That.
the rays coming off of it.
Yeah, an Apple phone captures it so. That's what you were using, correct?
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
Apple. Yeah, Apple. Dude, they do an amazing job of photography.
Mm. Well, funnily enough, when we were coming out of Warhammer World, we wanted to get some photographs of a few of us in front of the Rhino, and
Yep.
we had one of the staffers he just finished taking some photographs of another bunch of guys. So, can you take some photographs here, sort of thing? He was using my phone to take his pictures, and he was just saying he was saying, like, "Oh, that's really like good how that camera's works thing." I went, "Yeah, I'd hope so too." Paid a lot. Oh,
Well,
but it,
yeah, that's the thing. They cost so damn much. I couldn't like the iPad is fine for my phone. I'm like, you like it works out. You know what though? More and more, especially now that I have like, the apps even like this and stuff that run on your phone and your iPad, you get trapped in those. ecosystems. You know what I mean? Like because I got the iPhone and the iPad now, and I even got the Mac because I never used a Mac computer, but whatever, like a year and a half ago, they had their Mac Mini, and the way you can send a photo like shared between your Apple devices is like the best thing ever. You know what I mean? So I'll literally be like, hey, oh, I work on something on my tablet, and I'm like, oh wait, I need a program. I need to use it in a program that's on the on the Mac. It's just literally press the button, send. It's right there, like instantly. It's no like whatever. And if you save a JPEG, it's also saves to that same folder. So it was just so convenient for that then it's like kind of hard to get away from it.
No, that's the thing. You do get stuck in um, that sort of circle, but I do everything on my iPhone.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
anything
Yeah.
and everything on my iPhone. So
And that's the thing too, like e- even like people like most of this community, they are taking photos of their miniatures, you know what I mean, and then you get a quality like that quality. Did you mess around with your Did you get the newer one that has the LiDAR where you can make a 3D image of a room? Did you download that app yet and do it?
I did download an app that could do that, but I never. I
Oh,
tried doing
dude,
it.
go.
It just
Oh, okay,
confused me.
you did. I did one on my iPad and I did the LiDAR. Oh my God, dude. It's crazy. It like builds. I'm like, I didn't have time to mess with it again, but I'm like, I gotta do it. Like, it builds your whole room. Like, I did it inside a room, and you just did it all the way around, and it builds like the room in like 3D. It's crazy.
No, yeah, so the technology is just so good now,
Yeah,
and that's what has always driven me is good camera phone. So we like good.
because it's
Uh,
handy too.
oh, absolutely. I've got so many photographs. I've got about 42,000 photographs.
Oh, damn.
Um, my my iCloud from all the pictures that I take. Um, but yeah, I would literally be lost without it because I do everything through this thing.
Just
The
think.
only thing I don't do with it is talk on it.
Yeah.
And
You're
very
probably
rarely
better
do
off.
I have phone
Yeah,
conversations.
it's true, dude. It's true. I hardly talk on my phone too. That's hilarious. I like think I just made me think about you know, okay, let's just assume civilization lasts another 1,000 years or whatever. And like, think about people in 1,000 years will be able to go back and look through people's like entire photo albums. You know what I mean? That stuff will be somewhere like, dude, what? Look at what these people lived, and they'll have video clips and everything of people who lived 1,000 years ago. You know what I mean? That's just crazy because you're like, okay, what if we got to get real live video clips of people 1,000 years ago? What would they be saying or doing? Or you know what I mean? So it's going to be wild in that they'll just be able to look back and like scroll through like an individual's life of all their like photos and stuff that they did and be like, wow, look at all this. And everything's going to be so vastly different. You know what I mean? Things change in like 40 years, let alone like 1,000 years.
Yeah, ancestry online is going to be a lot easier to access.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I can't
As
even
you can
imagine,
see.
like, if you go 1,000, like, my God, I don't even know how humanity could last that long, but it's like it's been around forever. Not forever, but you know what I mean?
I was gonna say if you was thinking about putting in some like shooty from the side guns,
I was
if you see on
debating.
the right hand side that little rectangle at the front, at the bottom.
Wait, where are we? Wait, hang on. Where are we talking?
Yes. So
Right? Wait, are we talking? You talking here?
yeah, so that's the actual barrels, but
Yeah,
just down to the right, you've got the little
over here.
black rectangle there.
This one,
That one you just filled in, yeah. That's actually the
ejector
shell
port.
test. Yeah,
Oh, perfect. Yes, yes. I'll put shooties coming in there then. The only reason I didn't yet is I was like, oh man, it would change. I would light it more. And so I was debating, I'm like, okay, do I really want to like, and I might not be able to like pull it off as well as I want because I might have to get into lighting where it's dark in here because the flash would pick it up. So
yeah.
I put it in at first and then I took it out and I even debated doing it on this one. But now that I know exactly where that shell port is, it really makes me want to John Woo it up.
Get some white doves in there.
Yeah, he would start shooting doves, ticker tape, and shell casings would all come out of there. They're like, what are you loading in your warhound? Doves and ticker tape?
Dove depleted uranium
Yeah, this is
rounds.
my John Woo warhound, dude. You notice it's got guns in each hand.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be rude not to.
Let's see what
But
we can do with this.
as somebody mentioned earlier on, the blur on the foot where it's coming down on those
Ooh,
poor white scars. I've abused white scars quite a lot recently. There are a lot of dead white scars on
yeah, what's with
not only
that,
the
dude?
Titans, but also on the Legion that I'm painting as well.
Bunch of dead white scars. You don't like the white scars, bro?
No, I love them, but it's just
That's what happens. Sometimes they get caught
yeah,
up in
I
the
just
fray
thought,
too.
a white scar on it because I didn't want to paint yellow for Imperial
Yeah,
Fist.
yeah. Uh,
Um, so I went with the white scars. White scars are a really awesome Legion. Um,
yeah, I remember you like them. I remember you speaking a few times about them.
yeah, they were like one of those legions that nobody really cared that much about because they're just like, oh,
Did a
they're just
book come
space
out or
monsters.
something? Did a book come out or something
Yeah,
that
as
made it popular? Okay.
yeah, well, it's not just the book; it's just how the book was written. It was Chris Raitt done Brotherhood of the Storm, and then he done Scars, which was really weird. It was a heresy book, but they serialized it, so it came out in sections.
Oh,
So
interesting.
like, and they released it that way, and then they just put it all into a book. Um, but that was it. Really gave them life, much like Dan Abnett, where he done it with the Ultramarines and Space Wolves,
Yeah.
um, reigniting, and actually getting a lot of love from all
Hmm.
corners. Because I knew people that because the Ultramarines in particular have always had a bit of a because they were like the poster boys in
Yeah,
40k.
yeah. So you get that. Yeah.
They've always had a bit of a oh yeah, yeah, Ultramarines, Spurs, and all that.
That's how I feel. Yeah, I'd be one of those people. I just keep on like, yeah, yeah.
But after like reading sort of No No Fear um, and Unremembered Empire, it has sort of made them look a lot more awesome, and people can sort of understand now why they were,
Why they
such.
got their due. Yeah.
Mm. But well, funnily enough, I was watching another YouTuber. Um, what's his name? Arbiter Ian.
Okay.
Uh, so he's another one of these lore um, YouTubers like Luton sort of
Yep.
thing, and Oculus Imperia. Um, but he was doing about the Ultramarine sort of thing, and yeah, he
And
was going through like all these bits and pieces, all this old lore and stuff on there. But he fell into the trap of um, using lore which is conjecture.
yeah.
So, like in a novel, in Aaron Dembski Bowden's novel First Heretic, there's this famous scene where a word bearer squad sergeant is basically says, "Oh yeah, well we all know that the Ultramarines numbers got big because they got all the Space Marines from the second or 11th Legion when they got cold, sort of
Yeah.
thing." So
He was just what, talking smack?
yeah,
Yeah.
basically, like in the grand scheme of things, a sergeant from a random squad within a legion
Isn't
isn't
gonna
going to
know.
know
Yeah.
what's going on, sort of thing. And so he's an unreliable witness in that respect, because he's just saying, "Oh yeah, we all
Hmm.
know why the Ultramarines are so big."
Yeah. Just
You know?
talking trash. So, yeah.
Yeah, the real reason why the Ultramarines are so big is because one, they've got Rabute Gulliman
Yeah.
as
He's
their
the organizer anyway. Yeah.
organizer, and the thing about Gulliman is that by the time he's found, he's got a region of space with 500 worlds under his
Yeah.
control. So
Oh, so he was way going for, yeah, that's
he's
right. He
got
was,
the largest recruitment area of
yeah,
all
yeah,
legions. He's got 500 worlds to recruit from, and he's the most organized person
yeah. So
in
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
galaxy.
So that would make for why you have the, yeah.
Yeah. But when I was reading book 5, I think it was, from the Forge World Black books, and
Hmm.
it goes into detail there that obviously even before they found the Primarch, um, because the purity of their gene seed, it, it it didn't reject as much as other legions.
Okay, makes sense.
So there was more
Successes.
neophytes, yeah,
Yeah,
successes, conversions over to being transhuman sort of thing. So they actually were quite, getting they were getting, so like maybe their recruits were sort of two for every one from every other legion.
yeah, yeah,
So it's more stable, more easier to sort of create. And then they did suffer quite a catastrophic sort of engagement, so their numbers got taken down a bit, sort of thing.
hmm,
But then they found the Primarch, and then obviously he got hold of them and said, "Hey, look, come here. You found your Primarch. I've already conquered 500 worlds in my kingdom of Ultramar.
yeah.
Let's all get together and get groovy and go from there." So um,
Let's all
at the
get
time of
together and get groovy, yo.
yeah, so at the time of the betrayal at Calth, when the word bearers sneak attack, is the Pearl Harbor
Hmm.
story. Um, they had the Legion size was 250,000. I think the next biggest was the word bearers, and they'd been building up for 40 years to increase their numbers to get to 180,000.
Yeah.
Uh, but not all of them were there. They got basically all the word bearers that had Calth were the ones that Lorgar didn't want. They were the real high end fanatical ones, and they
Yeah.
were just he didn't want them in his legion. They were like too dangerous. So he basically stuck all the wrong uns over to take out Calth with all the allies and stuff, just to get rid of them basically, but to cause as much mayhem as possible. Um, so after Calth, where the Ultramarines lost about 2/3 of their legion through
Damn.
the betrayal, because there was only 200,000 Ultramarines there. 50,000 were spread out amongst the other worlds of Ultramar,
Yeah.
uh, but the bulk of it was there. And after the first couple of days of the betrayal, I think there was only left with, I think, about 50,000
Wow.
there. Around that sort of number was
Yeah.
left alive in the Calf region, and then Gulliman had to leave Calf because the ruin storm was going to close it off. So he escaped with, I'll probably say about 20,000, and left 30,000 at Calf to fight the rest of the bad dudes there in the underworld war. Um, but from that point and onwards to the Siege of Terror. So at the Siege of Terror, the Ultramarines are speeding their way to Terror as a legion, and he has rebuilt his legion already. So in 10 to 12 years, he has already got
Oh,
that
really?
betrayal levels of Ultramarines.
Damn.
Yeah. And that's what you get with the Gulliman and the Ultramarines. But yeah,
Yeah.
they took a kicking,
And
but
then he, yeah, dude, he stocked right back up, and
yeah, but and that's one of the old analogies as well. Is if you fight an ultramarine, make sure you kill him, because if you don't,
yeah.
he'll kill you. Because another thing that
How's,
they threw in there was that
oh,
they heal quicker because
oh,
of their
really?
gene set. Yeah, so they're out of action for far less time compared to other
Hmm.
injured Astartes, so they can get back onto the front lines quicker.
Interesting. What was the, how is Kelgar taking the Primarch being back?
Um, well,
Like,
from
you
the
know
last,
anything about that?
yeah. No, I did read, well, or listen to a few of the sort of Dark Imperium books. So it's conflicted because obviously it's the Primarch. He's spent many a year going to the fortress of Hera and
Yeah,
gazing upon his sire's Gene Sire's body.
yeah,
Uh, but now he's back and he's feeling well. He was in the last one I know of. He was like trying to do his best, as he's always has been. But obviously, when you've been
yeah,
the big dog, and then your dad turns up, you
yeah,
sort of and there are other Primarch, other captains with the Ultramarines, like Cato Sicarius, has actually become
yeah.
quite
Okay,
popular.
because that's what I was wondering. I'm like, because he was the big thing. I'm like, I wonder how that like aspect is going because you were all in charge and then whatever, you know.
Yeah, but I think he's like he's because now been made into Primaris as well. So he was
Oh, that's right.
really badly hurt in battle, doing like everything he could to stop the Chaos forces.
Oh,
Um,
really?
and he got like almost killed, and obviously the only way they could save him was to cross the Rubicon and become a Primaris. So they did that to him. But
Okay.
Uriel Ventress is also quite a popular figure. Um,
Yeah, I heard that one a lot. Yeah.
that Gulliman actually really likes him as a captain. But Cato Sicarius was one of the most hated Ultramarine characters about. Lots of people really didn't like him because he was a bit of an arse sort of thing. But I think it's sort of changed in the Dark Imperium now that the Primarch's back and taken charge, and he's basically fallen in line because I think he knows that
Yeah, yeah, they're yeah.
Calgar's one thing, but the Primarch's here, and he's doing what he
Yeah,
does.
dude.
Yeah, doing what he does best, which is going out and smiting the enemy, sort of thing.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, because yeah, you would be like, okay, yes, it is Calgary, yes, he is a thing, but you're not like there's a huge divide between then like a Primarch and you know what I mean? You're like, all right, dude,
yeah,
this dude's like a whole different level.
and I say like you've got those two. You've got obviously with Ventress. I think Uriel Ventress reminds Gulliman of Remus Ventanus, who was the original captain of the Fourth Company,
Yeah.
Ultramarine, who was like the savior of Calth. He was the one left in charge at Calth to fight the underworld war
Oh, okay.
um, for a dozen years, sort of thing. Um, but he has the, he sees something in Ventress that sort of reminds him a
Reminds
little
them.
bit. I reckon. Because up until the return of the Primarch, Ventress was probably one of the coolest Ultramarines because he was more like a heresy Ultramarine
Yeah.
than the 40k Ultramarines, where they were all like, "Oh yeah, we follow the Codex." You know,
Yeah.
he accepted from because of his captain before him, Idius, Captain Idius, who basically was like his Qui-Gon Jinn to his
Yeah.
Obi-Wan.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and he said, like, it's more of a guidebook,
Yeah.
don't get yourself tied up in
Yeah. Yeah. You'll lose
sticking
the
to
forest for the trees.
yeah, it's there as an instructional guide. It's not dogma, I think. So,
Yeah.
um, and Luke wants a book about
Well,
Zana.
which one we better? Well, what? Tell me about Zanov quick, and then we'll end up wrapping up this episode because you got your show rolling up there. But
Yeah, I
did
know.
you eat?
I sort of ate earlier on, so
Mm-hmm.
I got beer. Yeah, so Zana is a Forge World during the Heresy who like to sort of dabble with a lot of sort of like forbidden technology and stuff. And they sort of became a sort of a power of their own. But they're also the Forge World that houses the Legio Vulturum, who are what your little Titans painted up as, the
Okay.
Gorgros, and the House Maranax, which is another very popular knight household. But yeah, they've got a lot of sort of like really creepy techno shit that goes on there, and they're sort of embracing sort of the dark Mechanicus way of
Okay.
life and
Oh, they
stuff.
are.
Yeah, they love it. They love a bit of it.
They love the old Dark Mechanicus.
Yeah, yeah. We like sticking all these sort of things everywhere and
Yeah.
igniting, causing mass damage because we're like techno dudes.
Everybody does.
Yeah, sort of craziness,
Well,
dude.
so if anyone stop on in, see his show, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it. And I'll be, yeah, next week we'll be doing it again. So get ready for
Back on
next week.
the.
Yeah, back on schedule for a while.
Oh, Fabizi, it's a night Lancer to answer your question now. So it's a Cerastus
Yeah.
class night, but it's the Lancer configuration.
How tall are these in game? Like, what? How tall is this miniature?
Um, these in game, so
Well, I
if you're
mean, in
looking
real life, like if I was
in
like
real
trying to
life,
hold.
this stands probably around about 12 meters.
Okay, and then what? In the miniature itself of this, how tall is it? Like like is it a um? Is it as tall? I mean, I know
It's
it's
about an
different scale,
inch
but is
and
it
a
as tall
half.
as that Warhound? Is it taller than that Warhound?
No, no, no,
No. Okay.
no. Warhounds are bigger. The nearest knight to be as big as a Titan is the Buffalo, which is Rob Walters with his
Yeah. Oh,
dude with
yeah.
water. So that's the biggest type of knight. That one and it's Porphyrios.
Okay.
Asterius, and you've got the Porphyrios. They're the two. They are similar height to a Warhound, but they haven't got the bulk.
Yeah, yeah. There's a bigger, way bigger body on those. All right.
So these
All right.
are a little bit shorter.
Huh. See, learn something new every day, dude. All right, everyone, have fun. Lee, have a good show. Get some rest. Don't burn yourself out, dude. You've been all doing all kinds of stuff, man. You seem like you got a lot going on,
Yeah, I'm
bro.
fine. Yeah.
All right. You still look fresh faced and everything, so you look
I had a
good.
shower
So,
before coming on the street.
all
So,
right. So we don't want you haggard, dude. All right, Lee, you have a good
oh,
day. Have fun on the
yep.
show.